Alright guys, well this is the beginning of the parts video on my bike, and there's no bike. That's because I'm using Trigger's garage because he's got an air conditioner. First we got to take care of all of this because he's got a motorcycle lift being delivered today, and we're reorganizing this, and then we'll get to the parts on my bike.
It's got a motor in it.
You guys are getting moved.
Need a coochie in your backpack. Look at that.
Oh, that was so close.
Look, I was trying. Hi-ho silver.
My favorite one. It's the best one. Do the thing. Alright guys, here's the parts video you've been waiting for. Here's the bike, if you guys haven't seen it. I have made a video of a basic walk around of my bike, so if you guys are looking for something like that, then go back a couple videos and you can watch that. This is going to be more in-depth details about what people have asked for. So there's certain things I'm just not gonna go over on the bike. I'm gonna go over the shocks first. Also, before I go over anything, I do just want to say that all the stuff that I have done to my bike, there are many different ways to do this kind of stuff. So kind of take what I say with a grain of salt and do your research, depending on what you want to do. But this is just how I have done it. And a lot of it's really just budget stuff, which the typical person out there doing this kind of shit doesn't have all the money in the world to do it. That being said, we're gonna start with the shocks first. People ask me where I get my shocks, what size and all that. These are just some cheap RFY. You can see the cheap little RFY right there, but you get them on eBay for like 70 bucks. But they're not very consistent because they come in 13.5 inch shocks, but mine are 14.5 inch because the first set that I had, I broke when I crashed because it broke the mount up here, so I ordered another set of them. But then the second set that I got had a shorter spring on them, and it had like a longer, like the eyelet right here. You can see the eyelet, it has a chunk right here. The first ones didn't. The eyelet just went straight onto this piece. So this piece was longer, but the spring was shorter. Well, I had an idea one day and I thought, hey, what if I take the longer section from the first one, from the new ones, and put them on the old ones with the longer spring. So I added about 1 inch. That's why mine are 14.5 inch. You can't find them in 14.5 inch, but you can modify them to be 14.5 inch. People asked if you have to modify anything to mount them up. In my case, with both the sets that I ordered, you do. The little metal eyelet with the rubber grommet inside here that the bolt goes through is too small on these things, at least for my Dyna. So I just took the eyelets out of the stock shocks and crammed them into the rubber grommets, and it's a simple fix. But yeah, you do have to modify them a little bit. You're not going to just be able to bolt them straight on out of the box. They're cheap. I wouldn't recommend them at all, but they are better than the stock shocks. So if you're in a pinch, they will do. They will definitely do. All right, starting on the bars. This one's gonna be a little more complicated. First thing to know is all Harley bars, stock bars, are 1 inch. 1 inch at the clamp, and then 1 inch all the way up and 1 inch at the controls. So all the stuff that goes on them has to fit 1 inch bars. Even these fat bars over here, if you look inside, which you can't see, but inside the clamp it's 1 inch, then it tapers out. What is this?
I think 1.5.
Like 1.5 inch, and then it tapers back into 1 inch for the controls right here. So typically all Harley stuff is 1 inch. There is the option to go with, you can get dirt bars from different companies, like I believe Biltwell makes dirt bars that are 1 inch all the way through, so you don't have to modify anything. You can just throw them on and you'll have dirt bars. But if you want the 7/8, like the dirt bike feel with the 7/8 grips, then you're gonna have to modify some shit. So the first setup, the first time I did these bars, I had modified risers, because the risers that are made for dirt bars are pretty expensive. So the risers that I had were 5.5 inch, but they were normal Harley risers that were made for 1 inch bars. And the pro tapers are 1 inch and 1/8 in the center, so they're too big for the 1 inch bars. So what you can do, which is what me and with the help of Dickie, we took just a little Dremel with like a sander bit on the end and just slowly ground out the center until it fit the bars, and that actually held up for quite a while. And that was a cheap option. Those risers were like 60 bucks and a little bit of grinding and modifying until they fit the bars, and it worked just fine. The risers that I have now are hard case performance risers. They were sent to me by a viewer. Thanks again, bud. These are, I'd have to look it up, but somewhere in the range of $200. So these are just super expensive, and I did not have the money at the time to send them. But these are now 7 inch risers, and they fit the 1 inch and 1/8 pro tapers without modifying or anything. For all the controls, so before I had all this stuff on there, I also had the stock, all the stock Harley controls on it, which, you know, again, those are made for 1 inch bars. So there's companies out there that sell sleeve kits, and you can kind of see it right here on my brake lever, because this is the only thing that's still made for a 1 inch bar. But my brake lever, you can see that little plastic sleeve that goes all the way through. It sort of just expands the bar out to make it fit on make a 1 inch piece fit on a 7/8 bar. Now I had one over here for the clutch side too, when I had the stock clutch lever on. I had the same plastic deals, and then you get another set of these plastic deals next to it to fit the control housings onto. So that part is pretty simple. You can find those, I think I ordered these from JP Cycles. The other thing that you'll have to modify if you're wanting to use the stock Harley controls is the throttle tube, because obviously the stock throttle tube is going to be 1 inch, and it's going to be real loose over the 7/8 bar. Again, there's companies that always make something already and you can pay for it, but when it comes to Harley modification stuff, I tend to find that it's pretty expensive. So this is the 7/8 throttle tube I used for the stock controls. This is a I think, a R6 throttle tube that I bought from Cycle Gear. It's a 7/8 throttle tube, and it's like $6 at Cycle Gear, super cheap. Now the end of it, you can see down in there, this thing's also really dirty. The black plastic on the end of this is actually a part of the stock throttle tube. See, the R6 throttle tube has holes where the cables go into, but they don't fit the housing. So I took a grinder and I grinded off the R6 stuff pretty much to match the rest of the throttle tube. So it had a little piece sticking out. You can see down in there, actually, it had it sticking out a little bit. And then I chopped the stock throttle tube bit off and just used some industrial super glue and super glued that thing on. And it actually holds up a lot stronger than I thought it would, because when I took this off to put the new throttle tube on there, I actually tried ripping this piece off just to see how sketchy I was being by running this, and I can't get this thing off of here. So it's definitely an option. Definitely an option. This will fit right over the 7/8 bars, but then this will fit inside the stock housing perfectly fine, and you won't have to worry about anything. So then we get to the parts that I have on it now, because the parts that I have on it now don't take much modifying. The brake lever is the only thing that I still have modified to fit on there, and it's just a plastic sleeve to go on there. The throttle tube is a 7/8 throttle tube. It's from Biltwell. It's like $100, I believe, and it converts it to a single cable. Now this is one of the few throttle tubes you can buy that you don't have to really modify anything. It converts to single cable with these little knurls right here. This is the stock Harley throttle cable. The other cable, you literally just take it out. Take it out, run it through here. You take it out of the throttle body and just toss it in your parts box. Super easy, pretty straightforward. You just put it on, put the one cable, hook it in, adjust it, and it's good to go. I'm really starting to like this throttle tube. The clutch lever is what a lot of people ask about. It's not an easy pull. It's not an RSC lever. It's just a cheap little, it's a little, I think I got it on Amazon. It was like $30. And a bunch of people gave me shit for getting it for like being a knockoff lever. But the reason I bought it in the first place is because I had bought the little pit bike, and I figured, hey, a $30 one finger lever, that'd be fun as hell just to throw on the pit bike, and I'm not spending any like real money. But then when I got it, I started feeling it, and it actually didn't feel like bad quality at all. I mean, I've felt easy pull levers and I have felt RSC levers, and you can tell the quality difference in them for sure. But like, I was pretty surprised at how sturdy this one felt. Usually cheap levers like that don't feel sturdy at all. I figured, fuck it, I might as well just throw it on the Harley. It bolts straight on to the 7/8 bars, and I had some people ask me if it would go on the stock Harley controls. It won't. It's made for 7/8 bars, not 1-inch bars. Although there is a company, I think it's Elite Mototech, they make an easy pull lever made for Harley Davidsons, and it fits the Harley cable, it fits the Harley bars. You do have to modify that right there. Little piece inside there, the cable. So this is the stock Harley clutch cable, and you can see the clutch cable comes in and it's actually a loop, and it's got a pin that goes through it. So that's obviously not gonna fit inside the one finger lever. All I did is took an angle grinder to that piece, because it's just a metal piece. Took an angle grinder to it and ground it down into a ball to fit inside of one of those, and it works just fine. You're gonna have to have a pretty beefy index finger. The stock Harley clutch pull is a pretty tough pull, so to help with this easy pull, there's this little piece that this is the clutch cable. It goes into the transmission right here. There's a mechanism in here. The clutch cable goes up, hooks on. It's like a circle with a lever on it. Cable hooks on, and when you pull the cable, it pulls that, twists this, pushes on some ball bearings, pushes the clutch in or out. It kind of twists. So this piece is what I put in here. So there's a circle, the lever's sticking up, it's got a hook on it, just like this. So imagine the ball with a hook like this. This piece, you put it on the existing hook, so it extends it out and forward a little bit, so it gives it more leverage when the cable's pulling on it, makes it easier to pull the clutch lever. That piece is like, I don't know, like 12 bucks. You can get it like 12 bucks on, just look it up on Amazon. I think that's where I got mine. And then for the controls, because obviously with this on there, I don't have the control housing or anything on either side. But I did have people ask me, if you do put this easy pull lever on here, some people were asking me if it would clear the stock housing. So I brought the stock housing, and yes, it does clear the stock housing. I didn't think it would at first, but as you can see, if you had the stock controls on there, it definitely cleared. Another thing with the bars and the stock controls, stock Harley controls typically are internal wiring. So from the housing, the wires run in the bars, and then you can see they come out of the bars right here and then down to everything they need to go to. Pro Taper does make bars. They're a little more expensive, but Pro Taper does make bars that have the holes right here where you can run internal wiring and then come down. And then these risers have them where you can actually run them through the risers as well to really clean it up. I never did that. My wires I just ran externally, but the way that you got to do that on the clutch side with the clutch right here. To run the wires externally, I took a grinder and just grinded out this notch in the housing. It doesn't hurt anything. You could clean it up better. Mine I knew was temporary, so I didn't really worry about it. I just grinded that shit in there till the wires fit. And then when the bar is in there, the wires are able to come out of here. The stock levers, they push right up against this, so you can't just let them run out next to the bars. So I chopped them, if that makes any sense right there. By this point, all my wiring is down here anyway, so I don't really have any wires to hide or run internally. A lot of people asked if I was planning on getting a handbrake. I do plan on getting a handbrake in the future, but with how expensive a handbrake is, I am definitely not at the skill level to be worth spending the money for a handbrake. Pretty much be spending thousands of dollars and then not even using it for the longest time. I do eventually want to get a handbrake. Fuck all you guys who are handbrakes on Harley haters, because that's just stupid.
There's a lot of hate in the Harley world, period.
There's a lot of hate in the Harley world, period. What up, boy? People did ask about all the parts that I got, like the crash bar and the step plate and everything, where I got that. That's all in my walk around video. Like I said, pretty much all this stuff you can find what it is and where I got it from the walk around video, so I'm not gonna go over everything. But the crash bar and the step plate I got from my buddy Dallas, 35 Cycles Winnipeg up in Canada. You can hit him up on Instagram. He'll hook you up. He pretty much makes whatever you ask for. Somebody asked about the fairing. This is also in the walk around video, but this is the Memphis Shades Gauntlet fairing. It's a little scraped up from when I high sided, but still held together. I plan on sanding this down and paint matching it to the rest of the bike. That's why I'm not really worried about the scratches that are on it. But yeah, this is the Memphis Shades Gauntlet fairing. There's your boy right there, skinny penis. But that's pretty much it for the bike. If there's anything in this video that I didn't go over that you wanted to know about, in the comments below I'll leave a link to the walk around video. It's more of a broad video, but it goes over everything on the bike. If there's nothing in that video or this video that answers your questions, feel free to ask down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them through the comments. That's pretty much it. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.